an organization called Cascade Environmental. We are the largest environmental drilling company in the United States, and we are looking to branch out in Canada. So for those of you who don't know, environmental drilling is um, they are the people that go in and decontaminate and decontaminate groundwater, um, ground itself, soil contaminants, so that we can have portable drinking water. We have the ability to live and play on safe land. The closest thing if you recall the the movie Aaron Brockovich, where there was contamination in Hinckley, California, and she and a lawyer were able to bring about changes to how the contamination water and ground was happening in Hinckley in California. We work with government, we work with private organizations so that that kind of stuff is able that we're able to do that. So that's my professional piece. A year and a half ago, I attended a Women in Leadership conference that my company um, sponsored me to. And at first, I was like, you know, I'm a technical architect. I don't need this emotional intelligence BS. Why am I being pushed into this program? I mean, I'm grateful for the program because I got picked, but I don't have time for this. I am a busy woman. I manage systems, I manage platforms, I manage applications. I have a team of four analysts. I'm busy all the time. Like, why am I here? And, I went, and I have to say, it was a very humbling experience. Really, it brought me kind of it made me stop to and made me realize that there's more to this emotional intelligence than we make it out to. And one of the things that we looked at was facing the dark side of your personality. And one of the exercises was facing the dark side and evoking your 8-year-old self. So inside there's the inner child. I think everyone's heard of the inner child, listening to the inner child. So this is my presentation on that. So if you, so um, my presentation is making peace with your 8-year-old self, harnessing emotional intelligence and why it is just as valuable as your other technical skill sets. So you may ask yourself, what is emotional intelligence? What is emotional intelligence? Basically, think of emotional intelligence as the way to harness your emotions, whether it's anger, whether it's sadness, whether it's joy, whether it's just accepting situations as it is. It is a way to recognizing it, and it is a way to self-reflect on those pieces. And one of the ways that you do that is by recognizing the inner child in yourself and taking a moment to, oh, wait, I have so much more to listen to because we're still children in our own way, whether we recognize it or not, right? And it does have a practical application to this. So emotional, as I said, emotional intelligence, it is the ability to recognize and manage emotions effectively. And I mean by effective, because in this day and age, we have so many different ways of, so many different ways of expressing ourselves, social media, texting, in person, and it is how you are recognized as a person. It's how other people see you. So that's part of this. And it is so important to have emotional intelligence because it is the ability to enhance personal and professional relationships by fostering empathy. So we all know what empathy is, right? And empathy is the ability for us to understand how we relate, how we evoke emotions. It's not necessarily always when you care for someone. It is your involvement in the here and now and how you are going to respond to that. So the components of emotional intelligence: self-awareness, um, self-regulations, motivation, empathy, and your social skills. I'm going to touch upon self-awareness and self-regulation because those two pieces were key to how I recognize my inner child. And let me tell you, the year a year ago when I did that women in leadership conference, there were some humbling moments. Like I had to really sit down and realize, wait a minute here, Lisa, there's a lot more at stake than just learning the social skills. I had to really ask myself, why do I one drive myself? Why do I to expect others to drive at the same speed? Because I realized that not everyone is going to be like me. Not everyone is going to be always asking why and why can't you do better. That's me. That's on me. And that's the awareness part that I had to really sit myself down and have my 8-year-old self say, "Oh, wait a minute here. We need to stop and reevaluate how you're doing this." And then at the same time, the self-regulation part was such a other component to the awareness. It's like, okay, when I get angry, and I'm sure many of you are faced in situations where you're dealing with clients, you're dealing with developers, you're dealing with other people that poke you, that say, hey, I don't want to do this, or I don't get this, or why do we have to do this, or any other pieces that evoke your response, your triggers. And so one of the things that we did was we took some moments and we we had to sit down. We had to self reflect. We had to look at the situation at hand. We practiced breathing. We practiced ways of managing our emotions so that we weren't like that trigger happy. We weren't like, you are an idiot. You do not understand me. And like, let's take a step back and see it from the other person's point of view. So those were exercises that were very enlightening. That's the best word I could come up with, right? So the importance of EI today, right? Enhances communication, fosters teamwork, and by doing that, it improves leadership skills because you are taking those pieces, those emotions, and really taking a moment to work with others, to foster that, hey, when you are with someone, whether it's professional or whether it's a personal relationship, and that person is in a hard spot, you're taking that moment and putting your arms around them, theoretically speaking, and saying, let's take a moment, see what's going on. How can I help you get past this hard block, right? So this is me as a 4-year-old, very precocious. Don't ignore this look of like stunnedness. I was a very, very precocious child. Like extremely getting into trouble, doing my own thing, doing whatever I wanted. My poor grandmother. So I was raised by my grandparents when I was very young to when I was, I think, 5. And my grandmother spent a great deal of time chasing after me, constantly, always curious. So that's the key word to all of this is the curiosity and the ability to look and figure out what is this? How does this work? How do we make this happen? Always poking, always trying to figure it out. I was a really restless child. And that's the concept of the inner child is like we as adults, we're taking those pieces of of our inner personality and we're evoking it, right? But yet we don't listen to when our inner child is saying, I've had enough. I'm tired. I'm stressed out. So those are the things that being self-aware helps you become more aware of yourself, right? And then here's me again with my sister and my mom and my grandparents. I was, like I said before, in my lovely little hat. This was the 70s, right? Um, I was constantly always asking why, always asking, why does it happen this way? How do we make this better? Or what is this? Right. And that's the inner child. And it's the always acknowledging that inner child, always understanding that that childlike behavior that makes you, that is part of everything. And so you can't really ignore it. And that was the thing that this leadership conference I went to, I couldn't ignore it. I'm like, okay, so why am I so upset? What makes me me? And how can I bring the childlike qualities, not necessarily being a child, but having the curiosity and having the need to always ask, can we do better? And that also means, can we do better for you as a person? Sorry. So how can we do all of this and recognizing to get ahead? Techniques for self-reflection that I took away was journaling and self-talk. So one of the aspects of this presentation that I wanted to also do, but I didn't have enough time, was um, this notion that the imposter syndrome, right? So we are all aware that we have gotten to where we are because we're smarter, we're faster, we're better than our counterparts. However, we also have that side of our personality that says, oh, you're not good enough. Oh, you can't do that because there are others out there. So turn that off. That's the thing that I had to do, was to turn it off and to do self-talk. Yes, go ahead and do it, Lisa. I know you can do it. Figure it out. And then when you figure it out, give yourself a high five. That was the thing about self-talk that I had to really recognize that it's a part of me, that I am my own cheerleader. And when you're in moments of, oh my God, this is so not working, or I'm in a difficult situation where I'm dealing with stakeholders that are not getting it, or they're stuck in the past, because one of my jobs is digital transformation, and they're just like, I don't want to do that. It's like, okay, so let's look at this, talk about empathy, talk about getting past those hard moments. So self-talk. I also restarted journaling and kind of writing out my thoughts, because I'm a tactile learner. I have to touch things to make things happen. So expressing my thoughts and putting them into paper was one of the ways that helped me through this. Others was meditation exercise. I got back into cycling. I got back into working out. Um, Meditation. That was a hard one because I can't sit still. and it made me take things down so I'm not as, agitated. And practice gratitude. So easy, so forgetful, but so easy, like acknowledging those successes and how they align with where you're trying to go. So those are the techniques that I took away, and I practice it every day, every moment. And I am such a calmer, grateful person than I have been in the past. And this is a picture of my husband and I. We were in Santa Cruz, um, beautiful sunset. The value of emotional intelligence in your personal life. It helps better relationships, helps you enhance your calmness. And in turn, you're valued by the people around you, including your employers, including your spouse, including your partners, including your children. All of the network that you are connected to, it is expanding. Um, in the professional setting, this is me and my team that we are on a strategy scavenger hunt, and the gentleman down on the far left, he's my CEO. I had to do a scavenger hunt with the CEO, and I'm just like, oh God, if I screw up, I'm not going to get paid. I mean, that was what was going through my head, and he is like the best mentor and CEO that I have ever worked with. He's just like, I'm putting you in this leadership position. I'm putting you in this position to lead the scavenger hunt. You can do it. And he's very much a hands-off. I want you to take the lead. He does it in such a way that evokes, I can do this, right? So what I said, positive work experience or work environment. And the conclusion of all this, right? So here I am at that same I just came back from New Orleans. I got awarded a 2024 a what was it? An innovation award, because I took the company strides ahead into the digital platform. We have done so much with so little, because once again, we're a drilling company. We don't have the ability to buy and purchase off the shelf custom software. Instead, we have to grow it in house. And when you have a team of less than 5, you do what you have to do. And all of our applications are low code. All of our applications leverage the Microsoft 365 technology, and we are strides ahead. But technically, yes, but I also applied my emotional intelligence to navigating through all of the different pieces of leadership, of dealing with stakeholders. And I listened to my 8-year-old self, and I really helped acknowledge that 8-year-old child and acknowledge all of those inner self-talk that was negative, and I turned it around, and it made me so much of a happier, calmer person. So that is my presentation. Thank you again for giving me the space to talk about how I applied emotional intelligence to the to my personal and my work life.
Thank you so much,
And
Lisa.
yeah,
If everyone's okay, I'm going to stop recording so we can open up the floor for a general discussion.